Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the Cape Town Sevens semi-final, the first one. New Zealand taking on the USA in the stats department. The last 5 times that New Zealand have played the USA, they have been victorious. But this game just has that little bit of an extra feel to it for the USA. They've just been able to upset in their last contest up against Fiji in the quarterfinals. Perhaps the USA could go all the way. Looking through at New Zealand starting lineup, it will be Brady Rush, Tony Nashu, Akulia Rokalisoa, Regan Ware, Sam Dixon, Shay Clark moved into the starting lineup, and then Moses Leo there at number 13. Looking through at the USA, it will be Steve Thomasine, Joe Schroeder, David Still, Perry Baker, Kevon Williams, Marcus Tapola, and also Malachi Esdale. Now, there will be no Lucas the Camp, unfortunately, suffering an injury in that game up against the Fijians, but both sides making their way out onto the field now. USA, to an extent, they haven't been defeated in the sevens competition. They had one draw up against Australia. They're actually going to be playing off for 9th place in their game coming up against the French. But New Zealand, they had that loss to Spain off the very first match of their competition. They were disappointed, and ever since then, they've been able to go victory after victory after victory, including a win over Argentina. And also we have got the All Right Boss going strong still, eh? My voice is starting to get a little bit shaky, but overall, I'm feeling pretty good. It's currently almost 2:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. Had a quick little 2-hour sleep, and we're good to go for another session of the sevens. But it will be Thomasine kicking off from right to left for the semi-final. Kick long, Sam Dixon takes it nicely for New Zealand. Now, he's taken some big contact throughout these matches recently. I did watch him, and I believe it was the quarterfinal up against Uruguay. Got sat down. Tony Nashu inside ball dropped from Regan Ware there. In fact, it was Brady Rush did end up putting that ball down, but wins the penalty for his side. And also, morning hope we get a New Zealand versus Samoa final. It would be pretty awesome to see. Of course, Samoa, they've got that tough task in only a few minutes' time up against the Blitz box. And greetings, rugby aliens. Kiwi Lads still doing the rocking. Hamish is the bomb. Here's Ruth. I do appreciate you guys all being here at this early hour of the morning. I assume there'll be a few Kiwis who have got up for this game, seeing if New Zealand can go all the way. But the final will be taking place at about 7 a.m. So more than likely we'll see more New Zealanders watching for that one if they can make it through. Shay Clark, nice run from him, but taken down by Joe Schroeder. Very tall individuals going head there. Rokalisoa. Cross now to Regan Ware, almost through, finds the offload to Rokalisoa. As soon as he breaks the line, you know that there's going to be a try on the cards for the Kiwis, and he slams the ball down with aggression as well, fired up for the semi-final. Is Carlin Isles or Perry Baker playing? I need to put them in space. So interestingly enough, Carlin Isles, he's been out for about 6 to 9 months, I believe, out of that USA setup, whereas Perry Baker, he is there. Out on the other wing, they normally go with David Still, and he is on the field here as well. But yeah, really slammed that ball down, Rokalisoa. I don't know what happened with him this morning, but he's very angry. This is the best way of describing it. But it works out for New Zealand, 7-0 now in favour of the Kiwis with a good conversion from Rokalisoa. But yeah, Carlin Isles, he's been out of the setup for a little while. They've also now lost Lucas LeCamp, unfortunately, due to injury in that last matchup. But Perry Baker, the very experienced veteran, still there. That's almost a pun on David Still's name, isn't it? But Mike Friday absolutely yelling at his boys, making sure they know what they're supposed to do. But it's nicely taken there in behind for Tupawala. Trying to break through, but Regan Ware makes the tackle on him. It's his hands on the ball. No, he did hit them on the turf first. So the penalty goes the way of the USA. They're currently inside of their 22. The strategic play here would be to kick this one downfield into touch. And it looks like that's exactly what Thomasine's going to do. Who's going to score those tries today, Hamish? Hamish, which is dangerous player for the USA. Good try, New Zealand off the mark. I would say, I want to go Perry Baker, but I feel New Zealand will try their absolute best to make sure he is not the one who scores the tries. I'll go Kevon Williams, man who's about to do this line-out throw. USA won just one of their 8 semi-finals in recent history. Schroeder takes it nicely at the front. Kevon Williams passes across now to Paola. On the outside, here comes Perry Baker. I bet because I've said that he won't score, he now will. But nice ball on the outside. Nice bit of stepping from the big man, Brazil. Now Perry Baker plays half, goes across to Carlisle. Schroeder, nice pass to Thomasine. Ball on the outside. David still big fend from him on Tony Nashu. Bumps off Rockalisa. Very similar to what we saw him do in the Fijian game. I believe it would have been, I think it was Bukayaro who got bumped off. Nice run forward. Gets back up to his feet there, Perry Baker. USA just trying to find that gap. Williams gives it to Thomasine. Now big man Schroeder tries to cut up the middle. Bumps off Shea Clark. Doesn't bump off Rockalisa, though. He's been taken down nicely. Now Kevon Williams goes to the short side, breaks the line, and Kevon Williams scores the try for the USA. I guess that was a pretty good guess, wasn't it? And it was in the other semi. It is going to be Samoa versus South Africa. That one will be kicking off at, I believe it is going to be 2:46 a.m. the exact time. But a nice bump off from David Still. Perry Baker, good tackle made by Sam Dixon to get him down. But then the gap opened up for Kevon Williams to go through. And he just had too much pace. Shea Clark wasn't going to catch him. Neither was Brady Rush. Good prediction, mate, says Sebastian. I think that's the only prediction we're going to get right today. So I feel like I'll have to really enjoy that one because I don't think we're getting any more. I do consider USA considered good in rugby or Nazis coding. In the USA Sevens department, I would say yes. They're a side that can upset anyone on any given day, which is exactly what you want to have in sevens. Of course, that's normally the rule of thumb for all seven sides, but the USA, like for me, when you look at all of the top contenders, South Africa, New Zealand, Samoa, Fiji, Australia, France, Argentina, USA, they've got a decent chance of beating a majority of them on each day. And it just depends on what USA side we see. Nicely taken by Sam Dixon there. Shea Clark now plays half for the Kiwis, sitting on their own 22. Rush goes across. Tony Nashu going to cut on the inside. Brazil, miss low tackle there from, I believe that would have been Thomasine, which has really opened up a counter-attacking opportunity for the Kiwis who now move inside of the USA half. Back across. Rockalisa gives it to Regan Ware. Shea Clark on the outside with Dixon. One more if he decides to use him. He holds the ball in one hand. Now passes off to him. Ran out of space. I thought he would have, but Sam Dixon just bumps off the tackle of David Still over the try line. And that is going to be his first try in the Cape Town competition. Sevens, yes, Union have been able to make the Rugby World Cup. Exactly right. Speaking of Baker, I wouldn't mind a steak and cheese pie right now. It would go all right, wouldn't it? The old 2:30 a.m. steak and cheese pie. What brand you going for, Nazi Williams? I know a lot of people, when they go overseas, they talk about the fact that they can't get the Big Ben pies over there. It was a great run from Sam Dixon. I think it was because David Skill was just going a little bit too far towards the touchline that when Sam Dixon did the bump off, it was a little bit of medicine returned, I guess you could say, from when he bumped off Rockalisa. The kick is unsuccessful from New Zealand. That's going to make the score now 12 points to 5. Hamish, do you reckon USA have the ability to be really good at 15s? They are such a big country and surely got the money to invest in coaches, etc., and end up becoming really good. I can see it happening if they're willing to invest the time and money into it because they're going to be hosting the 2031 Rugby World Cup. And they don't want to get run over in that World Cup. They want to make sure they're competitive. They've got the MLR at the moment. They'll be hoping to continue building up over the next few years and also just get more chances at international level. They'll be disappointed to miss out on this World Cup coming up. But, I guess in a way, it can make you a stronger nation. You just need to get more minutes under your belt. Maybe playing those other sides who didn't qualify either. Schroeder, deep inside of your own 22 here, the USA. Trying to get out of there, but currently it's been a very tough challenge. Nice work from Kevon Williams. Slings it back. Rockalisa almost able to grubber it through, but Thomasine jumps on it. Release from Tony Nashu. Currently 20 seconds past the halftime siren. They're deep inside of their own area. Kevon Williams tries to go through. Tony Nashu tried to jump on him, and he's got the turnover now. Rockalisa sells the dummy, goes through New Zealand. We'll get another one before the end of the half. And that was a bit of a mistake from the USA. When you're that deep inside of your own area, sometimes you are just better off kicking that ball into touch, accepting the fact you're not going to go 95 meters and go into the second half 7 down. But instead, now they go into the second half 12 down with a kick to come. Nice run from Rockalisa, though. Got slapped on the arm by Brozel, who was trying to get that ball out of there. Rockalisa, good ball security from him in the end. Does score the try. Hello, Sebastian. These matches are so short and quick. You were spot on with choice as try scorers for the USA, says Ruth. in there as well. But that is going to be half time. The kick is successful, 19 points to 5 now. USA down by 14 going into the second 7 minutes. It's going to be an important little period of time for the USA if they are going to fire back. The difference between this game and Fiji is Fiji scored first, but then the USA were able to go back to back to back with their try scoring. Whereas in this one, New Zealand have been able to go first try, then the USA, and then a couple more for the Kiwis. Near the end, USA a sleeping giant if they get their stuff together. Imagine some of those NFL players playing or making the transition to rugby over time. Scary, says Nazi Williams. That's the thing, they've got the athletes, they've got the money if they want to try and invest into rugby. They've got that talent pool. They've got probably enough to get into like academies and everything along those lines, similar to what they're trying to do with the MLR, just on a much bigger scale. And like I said, 2031, when you're hosting the World Cup, just ask Qatar. You don't really want to get knocked out early because or else then you start making all sorts of history. I think Qatar, what was their one? The first time ever that a host nation has lost the first game of a World Cup. And then they went on to lose all of them. Or baseball players becoming cricketers. They just need to get a grip, says Sebastian. And there. I'd love to see what would happen if a baseball bat hit a cricket. That's a video idea, Sebastian, that you've just given us there. Just because I'd be curious to see what the seam does to a bat. Because the baseball, they've kind of got that stitch seam as well, don't they? But just not quite to the extent of the leather cricket ball. At the moment, they're playing a bit of Thunderstruck at the ground. Those men in the pool are having a bit too much fun. 12 minutes away from Samoa versus South Africa, which is going to be an entertaining fixture. We'll be covering it on the channel as well. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Cordial Rocaliso, the double try scorer for New Zealand, about to kick off the second half. New Zealand, they've got a nice lead, but they cannot take their foot off the gas here up against USA, who have got the capabilities of scoring 3 quick tries if they can get it right. David Still goes to Thomasine, now back across to Tipawala inside of the 22. Here comes Perry Baker. Passes on the outside to Brazil. Bit of a slip there from Rockalee. So I believe there would have been a little bit more rain overnight, if I'm not wrong. They were expecting thunderstorms in Cape Town at one point throughout this weekend. Or maybe that was when they hit Thomasine. Goes to Schroeder again. Now David Still once again going to be looking for that bump off. He's got that strategy that works pretty well now. Kevon Williams down the wing. Him and Shea Clark in a foot race. It's looking like it's going to be the American who gets the job done. And he's going to score his double. And sorry for the language, my bad. But I've heard George say where says Nazi Williams. Yeah. At the end of the day, like sometimes I read it out, sometimes I do just kind of censor it. Just depends, really. It depends on what type of mood I'm in. Kevon Williams is in a probably quite a painful mood. I think he's done an ankle. And Samoan on top. There's Jake and their next game coming up just around the corner. Amish, which we choose a cold bottle of Fanta versus beer. Fanta every day of the week. And Amish, choose your pick for the Blitzbox or Samoa. Tough one. Going for Samoa. Close game, says Roof. In my preview, I went South Africa by 5. There's a reason for that, though. And the same strategy helped me through in the game between Argentina and Samoa. So I decided to stick with it. I hope Eddie Jones gets into the South Africa coaching staff again. I think England was dumb to drop him, says T7. Yeah, as much as a off-the-field annoyance Eddie Jones can be considered, and yes, a lot of people don't like him, but one thing can't be denied, and that's that he can be a good coach. So I think whoever picks him up next, if it's someone to the same extent as what he did for Japan, they'll be very happy. Maybe he signs for the USA. Give them a bit of a go. New Zealand flying in over that try line. Good so far, says Ruth. Score now, 19 points to 12. Mentioned that the USA can score 3 quick tries when they need to. Sam Dixon passes across to Rocalisoa. Wide cutout pass. Now it's going to be Amanaki Nicole. Big fan there on Brazil right in the face. 40 meters out from their line. Around the side, Moses Leo. He's come off the bench in this match. No, he's actually been out there the whole time. That surprises me. I've hardly seen him in this one. Now it's going to be Tobias Savage. Now on the outside. Little bit of quick stepping from Shea Clark. Once again, passes off to Sam Dixon. Brilliant low tackle by Brazil. In fact, it was Thomasine, penalty won by the USA. Wow. Okay, so there's still a bit of fight left in this USA side by the looks of New Zealand woman, says George. And of course, they are actually going to be in the final up against Australia again. That will be taking place at about 6:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Right. I think the touch referee is just having a little bit of a chat to AJ Jacobs here. Might be a yellow card, is it? Penalty only, just be careful. I think that was against Roderick Solo for the way that he did try and clean out Steve Thomasine. He was absolutely brilliant there, having a charge back, made the low tackle on Sam Dixon. That was a hard enough job in its own right. But then to be able to get back up to your feet, lock over the ball, and get the turnover. It's a last ditch effort by the USA number 9, but brilliant work. And Mike Friday was fired up beyond belief when he saw that one. 4.5 minutes left in the half. USA still with a very good chance. You'd have to say, to an extent, they've had more momentum in the second half. Now, going to be the line out throw for the USA. Had to throw this one in. I want to say it's number 10, was it? It might have been actually the youngster, Diamore. All Perry Baker in space, running down the wing. He's broken one tackle. I think he's got the pace. Yes, he does, Perry Baker. And that's going to make the score more than likely back to 19 points to all. That is why I said what I said at halftime. Just because New Zealand are up by 2 tries does not mean the USA are out of this contest. They want to make it to the final. They've only won one of their last 8 semi-final fixtures. But Perry Baker has got pace for days. Missed tackle from Moses Leo. Roderick Solo tried the ankle tap, didn't get it. And Perry Baker beating the last defender right in front of his head coach. And then manages to score the try. 19 points to 17 at the moment in favour of New Zealand. The kick to come. Did Thomasine get it? Oh, he's missed just to the right-hand side. That is a crucial kick that has been missed, which does now mean the score is 19 points to 17. Still time left on the clock for the USA to return. They would have been, no joke, probably at least, I want to say, $10 to $50 underdogs at halftime to be able to come back and win this game. And they are now only 2 points down, 3 minutes to go. Momentum in the USA court. Can they make the most of it? Who are the other semi-finalists? It is going to be a head-to-head battle between Samoa and South Africa. New Zealand have a free kick here. USA not quite kicking at that 10 metres. USA good try from South Africa, says Grant there. So you will be very excited for the next match when it takes place between the South Africans and the Samoans. And only actually 6 minutes time. We will be covering that game on the channel as well. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Just slowly walking up there, Rokaliso, in no hurry for New Zealand at the moment. They know they've got the lead. And this is where some of those more experienced players, such as Sam Dixon, it's ripped away by Perry Baker, though. And now it's going to be another foot race. Oh, now Kalo Tangitau, he's got the pace. It's the bounce pass, just staying in the field of play. USA on the halfway line. Oh, it's the knock-on, though. Unfortunately, Marcus Tupuola, first of all, it went backwards, and then it went forwards. Mike Friday trying to say that it wasn't a knock-on, but I don't think he was watching the whole replay. He said it went backwards. But then after that, it did travel for can't wait. Let's go South Africa, says Power Bang. That was great work by Perry Baker with the one-on-one strip, hitting the ball back on the side of the USA. But then, yeah, that one is a knock-on. I think Mike Friday might need to get those glasses checked again. Rokaliso about to put the ball in for New Zealand. You can hear the crowd getting behind the USA here. They wouldn't mind seeing a USA versus South Africa fire. And oh, that's going to be solo, though, and that will hurt the USA. One missed tackle leads to 7 points for the Kiwis. Roderick Solo scores the try. And I think that might just about seal the deal for New Zealand. I'm hoping for a New Zealand-South Africa final from South Africa, but support New Zealand, says Grant. It's quite common in some regions of South Africa from what I've heard. Is it in Cape Town or Johannesburg? One of the two regions of South Africa actually has a lot of support for the Kiwis. I wouldn't mind if USA won, says Nazi Williams. And now, but looks like New Zealand, maybe Solo might have scored that winning try. The USA have been brilliant in this game, though. The second half, the way they've been able to fight back, been extremely impressive. And now the head coach of the Kiwis shouting out to Mike Friday. He enjoyed that one very much. That one's going to be converted. 35 seconds left on the clock with sevens. It is anyone's game, exactly right. Just 14 minutes. That's all you need. You could play the game of your life for 14. You can beat any side in the world for Rugby Sevens today. We saw it Spain earlier on in the competition. They beat New Zealand. Great Britain, they beat South Africa. Samoa, they were defeated by, they've been defeated by some big dogs lately. Samoa, and also, well, Amy, she said it. Says Ruth and I from New Zealand. Says Annie, welcome in. Another wide cutout pass. Going to be the chance here for the USA, but sadly for them, only 3 seconds left on the board. They will not be able to make it through to the final. I'm going to bed after the next game. Are you going to be getting up for the final, Nov Mum, or do you think you will end up sleeping through? Good tackle made by New Zealand currently inside of the USA 22, looking for that last turnover. The USA unwilling to give up here. Even though they can only get within 2 points, they still want one more. Schroeder losing his mouth guard in that process. Nice step from Thomasine. Caleb Tangitau wrestles him down. Roderick Solo tries to get over the ball, isn't able to get the turnover. Now Perry Baker, offload back to Schroeder. One more to Paola. Looking for his next pass. Gives it off to the number 10. Talapusi, I believe it is, but he isn't actually... Oh, no, there he is, Talapusi. I was looking through at the lineup. I was trying to work out where 10 was. Probably sleep through. I've got COVID again. They should be resting. Yeah, that is a very good idea. And hopefully you do end up feeling better soon, Nov Mum. Now New Zealand trying to get the turnover here. One more. Tapawala over the ball. They get the turnover still. Now they could kick this one into touch, but if I know New Zealand, they're going to take the quick tap. And they've decided to run it in. The youngster, Tapaya Savage, gets it on his first ever try. Oh, no, they've gone down on. Hopefully he's going to be all right and doesn't get injured in the process. Time in South Africa is 3:44. Says Grant, so we will be transferring over straight to our next live stream, Samoa versus South Africa. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back for that final when New Zealand take on the winner of South Africa versus Samoa. But I will see you all for the next one.